Good morning at Websites for Beginners. And of course, it may be already good afternoon for you over there in Japan, Australia, all the way to the Southeast Asian oceans. And then it's a late night for the people over in the States, in Latin America. You can actually have a look in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. You'll see it's pretty early. It's a bad habit of mine getting up early. And especially, I had this Brizy stories in my mind since last night when it was released. And I really thought I just want to do a first look at it. So it's not a full tutorial. In short, here I have a display of a cell phone device. I think this is an iPhone. And you see here a little page. And then what? Scroll? No scrolling. But as I click on the side, it swipes to a next screen. And I can click back. And you'll also see we have a display bar here at the top showing us 4 pages. And you can also click on it like so. And this is what stories are all about. And I guess if you are an Instagram user, this may be very familiar to me. It's a great tool specifically geared towards mobile devices. Very good if you just want to promote some stuff or content. You're a content creator and you just want a quick little something there. Perfectly made for cell phones. And you're going to see that the builder for this is probably the most intuitive builder designed just for this ever. It's going to be so simple that I guess once you get used to using it, you're going to be annoyed even with the main Brizy builder. We'll talk about Brizy very soon in case you have no idea who Brizy is. And then I will tell you a little bit more. We've also got a full tutorial in the works coming up very soon here on Websites for Beginners. This is good and all in well for your mobile device, but it is geared towards cell phones. So how will this then look on a display for a desktop or a tablet? The team at Brizy had really sat down and thought how this can still be accessible on a normal PC screen. And I think they did a very good job at trying to bring the spirit of the stories to it. So what you got here is almost like a horizontal display of a PowerPoint almost. So here I have it on a MacBook Air. You see the same. These ones, the pages to the right are faded out, and then you have the option to click here, or you have your navigation arrows here. And let's see if I can click. Oh, I can also drag it. Pretty cool as well. So they've really done a splendid job at trying to make this accessible on other devices. I haven't looked at it on a tablet. Let's have a look here on an iPad, but it should work the same. Yeah, this is really nicely done. And a few questions may pop into your head like, hey, what width, what size, everything, how do I set that? And you're going to be shocked that you probably won't be able to set that. And then you'll be like, okay, these guys actually did their homework. They got a few settings right here. Good. So now that you have an idea of how it will look on the front end, remember the focus here is mostly for mobile displays. And now let's talk about how we're going to do that. Let's quickly first just talk about Brizy. I'll have a link for you in the description below. Brizy is a page builder for WordPress, now also a site builder, which means it can create your header, your footer. It also has blogging, and then WooCommerce, all of that integrated within Brizy. But as Brizy was, I think, barely a year old, we were surprised by Brizy Cloud, using the same builder but completely independent from WordPress. Now, the stories are being rolled out to Brizy Cloud at this moment, but it is in the work for Brizy WordPress as well, as I believe. So if you only want to stick with WordPress, don't despair. At some point, you're going to get it. But I also want to tell you, you've got nothing to lose with Brizy Cloud because there is a free version. And the free version is so awesome and jam-packed that if you ever had to quickly do a mock-up or you just needed to send somebody quickly on a website, you can do so with the Brizy Cloud version. And I'll show you quickly. Like I said, we're not going to go in full detail. This is just a first look. At this moment, with it, I think there comes 7 pre-made stories. So you can go and check out the demos for this. And this is going to give you the same display. Of course, this is going to be the website version. But if I take another one like hi, I'm Jane, which is a freelancer. I can just copy this here and we can go into Sizzy, see if this will work. And we paste it and then I can view it here on my mobile device. And here you can see we have far more. Really, really cool. So impressed. And actually, I was there the first time this was announced long time ago. It was a very quick idea, immediate quick execution, and then the complexities of it came in. So we've waited a very long time to see the Brizy stories. It's here now, and it's really, really incredible. Right, so quickly about Brizy. If you follow the link in the description below, you can just pop over to Brizy Cloud. And then from Brizy Cloud, here you can sign up for free. And like I've told you, you can do amazing stuff with free. This is really powerhouse free stuff here. But then otherwise, you just click in on account login. This is also where you will sign up, and this will take you into your dashboard. I'm going to close out these guys so we don't lose sight of what's going on here. If you are a Brizy Cloud user, a few small changes here. The first change is up here, stories. This will appear here, and you will see all your projects. They appear in your dashboard. Then you can filter them by websites, pop-ups, which I don't have, and stories. Important to understand that both pop-ups and stories can be created as standalones. So they will have an actual URL that you can use. But that both of these can also be created natively inside any page that you are creating. I'm going to show you the standalone one first, and then I'll show you how you can do it within a project. In most cases, you will probably want to create it within a project. I say that, but maybe after a month or two, we find out that doing standalones are more interesting. There is just one little strangeness here. If I go to stories, I don't have the opportunity to create a new story under the stories. You can see for websites, we can create new projects. Pop-ups, we can create a new project, but stories, no. So you go to all projects, and then you click create new project, and it will give you a website or pop-up or story, and this is where we will create it. So let's do that and see how this is going to work for us. It will create a new story with this gradient of the green. And I will just call this first look stories and click on edit project. It will take us immediately into the builder. And you're just going to see this is so super easy. Now this is your canvas. I increased the resolution display on my computer so that you can see better on the video. But usually this will all fit in one video. So remember, if you just see this, to scroll down, your pages for your stories will appear here at the bottom. If you click on this plus, it will give you the builder. You can bring in the elements. And it's reduced to the necessary ones. Maybe there will be a few more in the future. Important here, very different to the builder, is that you don't have columns. You don't have structure. Say what? And the reason for that is, hold on to your chair, Sandy. If I click and drag and I drop it, my text is here. Now, how do I structure it? And how you're going to structure it, let's quickly just style this out. And if what I'm doing is going too quick for you, don't worry. We have tutorials on Brizy and quite a number of them up and coming. Let's put it back on caution. How do I structure this? Watch here. Click, hold, and drag. Free form dragging delight. I know for those of you who maybe want to have a little bit more control over exactly the pixel, this may frustrate you, but I think you have to really get stories in terms of the spirit and its function. And it's an easy visual marketing tool and creators tool. So don't get caught up in all that. This is out of the box how you're supposed to work with it. I've also noticed that there's already a few things here that are updates in the WordPress 2.3. Is it 2.3? No, I'm not sure. But here already we have great uppercase structure for it and underlined things that weren't there previously in Brizy. So these already have been filtered into Brizy Cloud update. And that's the same if you want to bring in an image, right? Let's drop that. You see it takes already the width. Shall we bring in an image? Why not? What do I have here? Again, you can structure it. And then for the background here, you have your control over the background as well. Let me see what I have here. That's a Brazilian flag, but I don't have an image here. Let's go with Vietnam. Okay, and then we just reduce the background like so. Okay, and of course we'll change that out. Ooh, bad resolution. I think this is just a thumbnail. Doesn't matter. But what about those pre-made story layouts that we saw earlier? Now, if I scroll down, there's no way to load that onto the first page. Very strange. Again, something I think that can need a little bit of fine-tuning. If you want to bring in the pre-made layouts, you need to do that by adding a new page to your story. So click here, and this will bring up the layout manager for you. And you can see over here the categories. And this is the one that I had shown you at the very beginning. We had a look. So let's go here to Top Watches 2020 collection. And here you get all the pages connected to this story. So 7 stories. Each one is a small little story. Together it makes stories. If I want to import this one, before you click here on Import the Story, remember to select Replace Global Styling. Otherwise, it will keep the styling that is currently on the page. And that is your color and your typography, your fonts. So I click on this one, Replace Global Styling. This is Watch Picks, and then Import the Story. And that is going to load it onto this page. So if we go back to this page, you will see the little trash can appears here at the top. So if I click on it, I can delete it now. Some reason we cannot just bring in the first page that comes in by default with a story layout. So just remember that small little workaround. And then from here, you just keep on adding the stories. As simple as that, by clicking every time on the new page and bringing in the stories. Let's see if we can drag these around. Yep. So if you want to change the order, simply drag here on the thumbnails at the bottom. And delete, I've shown you that. And if you want to duplicate the story, click here on the 2 little pages, and then you have a duplication. You can make changes, and that's how you delete it. And that's really all there is to it. You have your canvas over here that's preset, so it will display well on the majority of cell phones. Down here, you have your story pages. This plus allows you to bring in pre-made layouts. For your background, your settings up here, you have a background image. You can add video, even a map, overlays, plus a border, and your settings, well, if you need some CSS that you want to throw in there. The elements that you can bring in, very basic, but the majority you will be needing: buttons, images, icons, text, and then embed there if you need links, and a few others like a countdown if you have like a sale that is going on, and then you're starting over here. Down here in the bottom right, your usual stuff. Currently it's in a draft. So if I click on Save Draft, it will only keep it, it will not publish it. And then if you click on Publish Page, now it has been published. Preview over here. And here we go to that story we just created. This is how it will display on a desktop as well as a tablet. And I grab that URL. I'm going to test it here. And works like a charm. Super, great bananas. This is great, works out of the box. Very, very excited about it. Notice up here, this is the default URL, the website address that Brizy assigns to it. Again, if you're new to Brizy, this is free. You don't need to pay for this hosting if you want to use the .brizy.site URL. If you're happy with this extension, for example, you're just doing a quick mock-up to a client and you want to send it to them, you don't need to spend any money on hosting or URLs. You can do it within Brizy, even within the free version. Yes, free. You can do that all for free. So if you really don't care about the URL, then you can get away with it, as long as you're happy with the .brizy.site. If you want to change it to the custom URL, you can do that. Still, I think 1 or 2 for free, 1 in the free version. But if you want more free, unlimited, then you go for the Brizy Cloud Pro version. This gives you the standalone one, right? So this is going to be a URL that you will send specifically to someone, and they will be able to access the story as is. Let me just update here, and we exit this standalone story by clicking here in the bottom left, and then select here, go to dashboard. I'll close the front. So now here in my dashboard, I've got 2 stories. And if I click on stories, I have those 2 appear here by themselves. Now let's see how we can do this within a page or a website that we have created. This is one that I created long ago. I was going to do something with it, never happened. Edit, this is Brother Baker. Let me just have a look at Brother Baker. I think we just go into a new one quickly. Brother Baker only has a header. Now let's create one within a new project. Create new project, and this time we click website because we want to create our own website. And then here we say website demo story, so we know which one this is. And then edit project, goes into the builder, and now we're in the full-fledged Brizy builder for your website. Let's bring in a page so we just see how our page will look. So I go to layouts, and let's go for a one-pager. There are 47 one-pagers at this moment. Great stuff. Guys have been rolling out a number of nice and good-looking. Let's go for this one, and then click here on replace global styling, bring in this layout, and then we say publish page, update. So here we have this one that has been brought in. Who's that? David Martin. Long time no see, David. Yeah, right. And let's preview it. And if this happens on your preview page, right? So there's our preview. Okay, good. And now we want to have a story on our site. Maybe it's part of a link that we want to share integrated within this site. Then you go to the sidebar on the left, up here where you see the hamburger menu, which says CMS for Content Management System, and click on that. And this basically opens everything that you can do over here. The pages that we have that one page, which is the home page. And then you have blogging, and then stories and pop-ups and alerts. All of this that you can create within Brizy Cloud. Click on stories, and then you're going to create a new one. Click here at the bottom, add new story. Or you could have clicked there in the middle, and I'm going to call this in-house story. You can give it a little description. Important here is to understand the permalink. If you're going to add this somewhere to a button or share it or put it in a menu, you will need this permalink. You can change it if you want to, but like if your title is short enough, then the permalink will be short enough. But you can give it a custom permalink here. So to show you, I'll just call this in-house. Good. As simple as that. And you can add SEO on the right. Let's save. Save it in, story created, and then click on SEO. You can add a few more things, and here is your full URL for that. You can give it a little description for SEO, etc. Go back on the arrow, and now your in-house story will appear here. To now set up this story, you click here on Edit, and now we go back into the story builder. Right, and this should be familiar to you now. You're going to get the elements on the first page. So to bring in pre-made layouts, you click on the second page, and from here, click on the one, replace global styling, import the story, and then go to this page, delete it, and there you go. So I would say I remember only 2 little things I would probably change here. I forgot what's the second one, but the first one is how can we bring in a layout from the beginning on the first page without having to create one and then go back and delete it? But not the end of the world, right? Then you can say publish, update. And now the story behaves just like anything else would right within your website. You can put it as a link in your menu. You can put it as a link to your buttons. Sky's the limit. Not really, but at least you have a lot of options here. If you want to go back to editing your page, to do that, you switch up here in the top left, pages, and you select your home page. So if I click here on here to buy, go to my link, and I put in here /in-house, update, preview, click here to buy, and it will take me into the story. Just remember when you do this, I would say a very important function here is how to take you back to your home page. So you will have to remember that on your stories, maybe here at the end, include something that will link you back to your main website. Pretty cool. I'm pretty impressed. I think job well done here. And this is a first look here at stories that were just released yesterday for Brizy Cloud. And as I mentioned to you, as far as I know, it's also in the works for Brizy WordPress. So if you are a big and avid only WordPress user, this should be coming out to you very soon. Otherwise, if you want to try Brizy Cloud, I highly recommend you do. It's one of the little tools out there that once you get used to it, you find that you often just, levitate towards using Brizy Cloud instead of going for much bigger things on other platforms that you used to do. Because if it's very standard and simple, then Cloud is going to do an amazing job for you, even the Brizy Cloud free. On the other hand, Brizy Cloud has been growing a lot. So you can see here, when I looked here under assets, we have blogging as well, and custom fields just came in, stories, pop-ups, webhooks, all of this, a lot of stuff going on in here. As a CMS, it's really shaping out very beautifully. Good work on this. Well, that brings us to a little bit later in the early morning. It is Saturday. My coffee is halfway. I know I shouldn't be drinking coffee so early in the morning, but this morning was just very difficult. I had to come and get this video out of my mind. If you're wrapping up your Friday evening, hope you have a good night. Enjoy the weekend, everyone. Stay safe and see you around.